I've had the pleasure of knowing Curt since I came to the bank in 1971. Curt was always a great role model and example for all of us to follow. He set the bar high, but we always tried to reach the bar because we had so much respect for him. Curt didn't just talk the talk, he walked the walk each and every day.
Under Curt's leadership in the 90s and early in 2000 through 2005, the bank experienced prosperity never before realized. In fact, as I recall, the bank was able to achieve a return on average assets greater than 1.5 for 10 straight years. That's unheard of.
I've served over 30 years with you on different boards, and one thing I've learned about you, I've served on the TIFA board, the Economic Development Corporation board, and you as chairman of the board for Lapeer County Bank and Trust. And you are an absolute master when it comes to running a meeting. Your memory is unbelievable, and your detail to attention is impeccable.
I'm very pleased today to be able to make a few comments to honor someone who is so special. I'm Judy Sullivan, President and CEO of the Community Bankers of Michigan, formerly the Michigan Association of Community Bankers. Curt Carter, a very special friend, has been on our board of directors for many years.
Curt is one of the community leaders instrumental in founding the Lapeer Development Corporation. Back in 1981, he is one of only 2 board members that still serve on the board. I met Curt when he was on the selection committee that hired me right out of college decades ago. Not long after that, he became the chairman of the board and held that position for 25 years. It's a record not only in Lapeer County, but also in the state of Michigan for an economic development board chair.
If Curt Carter could ever have a supervisor other than another officer of the bank or the board of directors, it would be me. I come with facts, I come with knowledge, and I come with over 40 years of experience dealing with Mr. Curt Carter. We go back together to 1971 when I was a young bank examiner examining the bank here when Rod Parsh was president. And Curt Carter was a lowly loan officer at the time. But I've been acquainted with Curt all these years and am proud to be doing that.
Well, Curt Carter, I first probably met him back when he was taking over the transition from Rod Parsh. And you know, back in those days, bankers were supposed to be stodgy old guys in dark suits and white starched shirts and you know, power ties. Right. And here comes this guy in, I think he was wearing a light colored suit, and looked at me and said, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I knew from there that we were going to be fast friends.
I'm guessing that it's been probably 27 or 28 years that I was your secretary, so there's a lot to be said. But I wanted to say that you were probably one of the nicest bosses that someone could have. You were, most of the time, easy to work for.
There wasn't a detail, a single detail, or a single line item on the balance sheet or the P&L that Curt didn't want to attend to.
I think Curt, especially on these boards, he was always chairman of the boards. He always commanded attention to detail on these boards. He's always prepared. His knowledge is incredible. He can be so knowledgeable about so many different subjects. I think that Curt is one of a kind individual whose abilities to speak to people, to communicate to people is second to none.
In addition to the Lapeer Development Corporation, he has also served on the City of Lapeer Tax Increment Finance Authority and chaired that board. Other boards for the city that he's served on include the Local Development Finance Authority, Economic Development Corporation, Downtown Development Authority, and Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. For the county, he serves on the Lapeer County EDC and the Lapeer County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. Clearly, he has made economic development a high priority.
You gave many, many hours over and above what other people would have expected you to do. And no matter if it was the bank that you were working at, or if it was a committee that you served on, whenever they asked you and you committed yourself to it, you gave 110%. You always gave everything to that, and you went to the meetings and you contributed to the meetings, and I think that the people that you shared those positions with were very happy to have you serve on their board or their committee.
Curt was probably one of the first friends that I made as I entered my banking and association career. And I have so many special memories and so many thanks to give him for all of his service, support, and guidance along the years. Curt is known far and wide for many things, for his community banking expertise, for his willingness to lend a helping hand to anybody, for his love of his community.
The centennial celebration when the bank reached its 100-year anniversary in 2002. Everything was planned. We celebrated the centennial from January through December of that year. And it was culminated in September on the actual anniversary date with a huge, huge anniversary dinner that we served in Anrook Park behind the bank. As I recall, over 3,000 customers and friends were served dinner. And we gave away, I believe, in excess of $25,000 that year in cash and prize drawings. So it was a tremendous, tremendous success, and people to this day still talk about it. Also that year, we revived the custom of an annual ice cream social. The timing was perfect. We began the ice cream social in the centennial year of 2002, led by Bernie Talaski, and we have continued it to this day. So in 2014, it will be our 12th. And Curt is responsible for reviving that wonderful tradition in downtown Lapeer.
And Curt did a wonderful job of managing the bank. I was his regulator. That's how we met. And it says something when regulators get together with bankers and they become friends. And we became friends fairly quickly. There weren't any bridges in terms of regulator versus regulatee. We're both very forward with each other, and we could put work inside the walls during the day, and at night we could break loose and have a little fun and talk to each other as friends. And it's just grown through the years. It's been a magnificent relationship. I think it's a testament to the man that he stands out amongst all bankers in terms of not only running and taking care of a challenged institution at the time. It had small challenges, not great ones, but Curt was ready to recognize it and did what he needed to do to get it where it needed to be. And it shows. It's weathered a storm that most haven't, and it's weathered it well. And that I put as part of Curt's legacy.
Early in my career, and as my career developed at Lapeer County Bank and Trust Company, as I was being prepared to take over as the CEO, Curt and I traveled around to various functions in the state of Michigan, and I was always impressed by the number of people that Curt knew and the tremendous amount of respect they all had for him. For example, he was a former director of the Michigan Bankers Association. He was also a former director of the Community Bankers of Michigan, which was known as the Michigan Association of Community Bankers at the time. He served on various committees throughout the state, and he knew practically every CEO or chairman of the board of every bank in the state of Michigan. And that's no small task, given the number of banks there were in the 1990s.
You cared about the people at the bank. When there's changes to be made, I think that the employees were thought about and what kind of a result that would have on the employees with any changes that we've made. There's been an awful lot of fun times. Halloween, I think, was probably one of your greatest moments over the years. You were always ready to get dressed up in whatever the girls said you were going to be. You always came through for us, and you found the costume, and you were ready to go on Halloween.
So through it just evolved over time that eventually we started golfing in group meetings, then we started golfing together, and then we teamed up together, and we got a group of 4 guys called Team Margaritaville. Looked kind of funny because we would dress alike and then talked alike, and I know he could pass for my father or grandfather, so there was some similarity there, but we banded together. I think we made an impression at the group meetings. Not only that, I think we won it once or twice. So not only, you know, good fun, but actually some pretty good golf was had. And that's the best thing of all. I consider him to be my brother, even though he was passed for a very older, much older brother.
As one of my duties with the Community Bankers of Michigan, I teach Directors College twice a year, but in the fall in Traverse City at the Grand Traverse Resort. And thankfully, each year, Lapeer County Bank and Trust Board of Directors always show up for that director training. It's part of their training program, and we're pleased at Community Bankers of Michigan that they attend. Generally, they come because Curt needs the remedial work to learn how to be a bank director. Curt, I was just kidding about the Directors College. You have been a fine example of a Michigan community banker for many years. I'm proud to have known you, and I wish you the best in your retirement.
Curt, you've been a wonderful friend. It doesn't matter if it was family problems, health problems, just needed somebody to talk to. You were always there, and the door was always open if I needed to talk to you. And that meant more to me over the years than what you'll ever know.
One of the nicest compliments that Curt would give us is when we did a good job, he would call us a crackerjack. That was the ultimate compliment. 6 years ago, under Bruce's leadership, we instituted the Curt Carter Crackerjack Award. This award was given to employees who exemplified excellence. The inscription reads, "Excellence is often pursued but rarely captured. Your unwavering dedication to a higher standard has made the difference in our success." I was humbled to be one of the first recipients of this award, along with my co-workers and friends Bob Stever, Beth Henderson, Cherry Newland, Kristen Lang, and last year's recipient, Greg Potter. This plaque, which hangs in the lobby of our bank, is a constant reminder of Curt's legacy and how we should all try to reach the higher level. Thank you, Curt, for your friendship, your support, and your leadership. We are fortunate to have had you as our leader. All the best to you in your retirement, Mr. Crackerjack. You deserve it.
Words cannot adequately express my appreciation for the interest that Curt has shown, not only in the LDC, but also to my family personally. I am thrilled that he continues to serve on the LDC board, and am honored to have the opportunity to recognize him on this special occasion. Congratulations, Curt, on a job well done, not only at Lapeer County Bank and Trust Company, but also as a volunteer contributing to the economic vitality to Lapeer County through your community service.
Cheers, and God bless from the Sullivans, from all your banking friends. And here's to a wonderful man, great community banker, and dear, dear friend to so many. Cheers to you, Curt. All the best.
Curt Carter. What can you say about Curt Carter? He's the best. I've worked with Curt 45 years. He's not only my boss, my confidant, but he's my buddy, and I love him dearly.
It's been an honor working with Curt for over 42 years. He's a very caring and compassionate person. Best of luck, Curt.